Please welcome back to the stage Jillian Morgese and Franz Kranz.
How did this project come about, Joss and Shakespeare?
It was his vacation from Avengers, and I mean, literally had 2 weeks off, and he was going to go to Italy, and then decided to do this. It's crazy.
And when I was working the last 2 days of the entire Avengers shoot, and while he was directing, he had Much Ado in his back pocket.
That's awesome.
Little did I know at that point what it was for.
Was there a different feel, sort of in the independent movie making process, as opposed to Avengers and Cabin in the Woods?
I met him working background on Avengers, so I worked 2 days in New York, and in a very lovely, lucky series of events, got this opportunity. I do know he was, as crazy as it is, that he took time to notice an extra and, give it a shot. And he was the same. I mean, it was probably a little more stressful on the Avengers. But I think he works the same. But I know that during Much Ado, I mean, he said it was the happiest he's been. So
it never felt like a job. More so than anything I've ever done, it really felt like people hanging out. That's why it continually just continues to surprise me how this is still going on. He does play readings. He hasn't, at least I haven't been invited. He hasn't done one in a while. But I haven't
done one since.
Yeah, I did A Midsummer Night's Dream at his house once, and it was awesome. I played Francis Flutes, and Alan Tudyk was Bottom, and yeah, and Alexis was the wall. I forget his mechanical's name, but he had us get up and stage Pyramus and Thisbe, just like impromptu staging. So he's got his favorites, no doubt, but he also, I know he did a reading of Hamlet at his house. That's how I found out about it, and I was like, God, you need to invite me to the next one. I got really jealous. Nathan Fillion tried to get out of it, and which was, thank God he didn't, because he's amazing in that movie. But because he was shooting Castle, and he was like, man, I can't do, I just can't do this. And Joss kept pleading with him to do it, and he even cut some lines.
He's like, I don't have anyone else, so you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because I Skyped the audition for this because I was in New York, and about a week after that, I mean, he offered me the role on Skype, and then a week after that, I was at his house. So once I was there, started working with the people, but I know they had table reads and stuff, but he hadn't cast my part yet, so I had just come straight from New York into the house and met all these wonderful people. And
I was just thinking how awkward it would be if you got offered a role on Skype that you didn't want to do. Great.
That was not an issue.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, the question is, how is it different for an actor preparing for a role that's sort of established, been done, like a famous, or play like this, or originating a role like Marty? I love this play. I wanted to do it in college, and then something happened and I couldn't do it, and I'd never seen the Brana version though. Luckily, so Claudio wasn't really on my mind as much. I wanted to play Benedict when I was in school, and I didn't have a lot to know. And the one thing Joss told me in my email when he first asked me to do Claudio, and I was like, hell yeah, and he said, I want you to play him as a temperamental jock and not the wet he normally is. And that was my one direction, and then we kind of hit the ground running. But I try and approach it as just trying to tell that story and live it sort of emotionally. As an actor, I don't even do sort of sense memory and stuff like that. I just try and create, sort of be in the situation. And in that sense, it all feels original to me. In the case with Marty, when I read that, sometimes you read a role and kind of connect with it so immediately that you sort of you kind of feel like you have ownership over it. upon reading it, which is exciting. And so with Marty, I felt like I got this, you know. And with Claudio, I think it took a little more effort because I don't play stuff like that very often, and so I struggled with it. But yeah, you know, what do you think?
Couldn't tell.
Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the way you approach it can't be the way anybody else approaches it if you just try to get to the emotional truth, because what you feel it can't be replicated by somebody else doing the same. And I think it also helped that this version was just so different from any versions that I've seen, and that helped kind of finding our own way through making it.